Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MeanGene Show here on KDWN 720 AM 101.5 FM Las Vegas. It's the last show here on KDWN until the NFL training camps and preseason kicks off later this summer. And what a way to end it, folks, with Super Bowl 56. We have a great show planned for you this evening, although I have a little bit of bad news. My co-host, Dustin Pfeiffer, is under the weather today. He just didn't have enough energy to join us. Dustin, if you're listening, man, take care of yourself and get well. But he did send me his Super Bowl 56 predictions, and I will be sharing that with you in the next segment, along with my pick for the big game. And as I stated earlier, we have a great show planned for you. Interview sound bites from the Bengals, defensive tackle B.J. Hill, and Rams safety Nick Scott. I also have a real good treat for you. Former Houston Oilers quarterback and NFL Hall of Famer Warren Moon will give us his Super Bowl predictions, along with a statement on the lack of qualified African-American coaches in the NFL. If you remember, me and Dustin Pfeiffer talked about this last week here on the MeanGene Show. All right, so a lot of stuff to cover here in such a short period of time to do it. The MeanGene Show is brought to you by Presidential Limousine by Captain. It's the official limousine service of the MeanGene Show. There's absolutely no way you can experience Las Vegas until you ride in the Presidential Limousine by Captain. If you're coming to Las Vegas, make your reservations now by calling 702-438-5466, or you can text them at 702-410-6057. They will respond to you right away. The show is also brought to you by the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino. Experience the award-winning soul of Motown, a high-energy concert-style musical tribute celebrating Motown legends. This is a must-see show during your Las Vegas vacation getaway. For reservations, call 888-796-3564. All right, well, let's get into a few of these interviews that took place earlier in the week, and we'll start, of course, with the Hall of Famer Warren Moon. All right, Warren Moon was in town participating in a autograph and memorabilia event in Houston, and he gave us his thoughts on the Brian Flores lawsuit and the current state of black coaches in the NFL.
Well, I think it was something that needed to be done because it seemed like the Rooney Rule and everything else they've tried to do to increase the number of African-American coaches or minority coaches just wasn't working. So this is the next step to take it legally, and hopefully this will ruffle some feathers and get some people's attention that we got to do something about our hiring practices in the National Football League when it comes to coaches, and hopefully that'll do it. Even when I was playing, there was more African-American coaches than there are now. We only have one. So things have gotten worse, a lot worse. I mean, I think we got up to as many as 8 African-American coaches at one time, but now it's all the way down to 1. So whatever they're doing is not working, and they need to really look at their hiring practices because this is pathetic what's going on right now. And we've had 9 jobs open this year. You would hope and think that they were aware of that. Okay, we need to do something about this problem, and this would have been a great time to do something about it by increasing that number through this hiring process. But out of the 9 openings, I think 5 or 6 of them now have all been hired by white guys, and so it doesn't leave a lot of spots open for the African Americans. So we'll see what happens, how this thing plays out, but the league has to really look at this closely because it's not working.
Wow, great comments from NFL Pro Football Hall of Famer Warren Moon there on the lack of African-American coaches in the NFL. And Warren said something that was really interesting. I do remember when we got up to like 7 or 8 black coaches in the NFL, and you got to think what was happening at that particular time to where that success was taking place. So I think the NFL doesn't really have far to go back and just look in their own history to see what was that. Was it due to the same sort of outroar and protest that you hear now, or was it due to certain ownerships that were intact at that time? But anyway, very interesting stuff from Warren Moon. And we also had a chance to get his thoughts on Super Bowl 56 and who would win. And this is what he had to say.
I just think the Rams are a better team on paper. But Cincinnati just keeps surprising everybody. They just don't go away. You think you've got them knocked out, and all of a sudden here they come back again. So I think the Rams are going to win the game, but I would not be surprised if Cincinnati came back and beat them.
Okay, so Warren Moon thinks the Rams are going to win, but he wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals came back and beat them. And, we're starting to hear a lot of that conversation now. Mr. Picks, who I will have on my podcast, will be on tomorrow, iHeartRadio podcast, talking about the exact same thing as far as why so much hesitation there as far as saying, okay, the Rams are just going to outright win this Super Bowl. Now, if you listen to Eric Dickerson, if you've been following some of the TV talk shows and radio and all of that, Eric Dickerson is all the way in on the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, he thinks it's going to be a blowout, and that's Eric Dickerson. He loves his Rams, but of course, I'm not going to give my pick away. I'm not even going to give Dustin's pick away right now, but I do want to comment on what Warren Moon said. I think Warren Moon is saying it is basically giving a lot of respect to the Cincinnati Bengals, and rightfully so. After you saw what happened against the Tennessee Titans, you saw what happened in the AFC Championship game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, you have to give them that respect. And when he says, "Hey, okay, wait a minute, let's just take it back to the wild card weekend, and or not the wild card week, was it wild card weekend, division rounds, whichever one it was, the Titans and the Bengals. Joe Burrow sacked 9 times. Who lives to talk about the fact that they were sacked 9 times? Certainly, yeah, a loser, right? Anyone that gets sacked 9 times in a game, they should lose, right? They should not be in Super Bowl 56. And Joe Burrow, there's just something about him that just really excites people, certainly Cincinnati Bengals fans. And I can understand why Warren Moon feels that way. I can certainly understand why it wouldn't be a surprise. But we have a lot to talk about in regards to the big game and how we're going to break it down, including more comments coming up from some other players. But I just thought that would be very interesting to get Warren Moon's opinions on Super Bowl 56. Last year, the NFL gave us, meaning the media, the opportunity to conduct virtual interviews with the Super Bowl participants. I mean, this was mainly due to COVID-19. They did it again this year, and I admit, these Zoom meetings are really fun and exciting. I mean, there's nothing like talking with these NFL superstars from your living room, okay? And last year we did it. We were able to talk with Mike Evans from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and of course, after the Super Bowl, we talked with Andre Wiley, the tackle there for the Kansas City Chiefs. So, like I said, I mean, this is just fun stuff, and of course, now there are media that is there on site there in Los Angeles. But man, because it's just so many people want to cover the NFL, mainly the Super Bowl, the biggest game of the year, that the NFL continued to allow the virtual meetings. And plus, COVID-19 still exists, right? I don't know if it exists in the NFL anymore because no one has missed a game due to COVID-19 protocols, all right? But anyway, we're not even going to go down that road. This is Super Bowl 56, and we are going to enjoy it, all right? So in order to be fair to my listeners, I had the opportunity to interview a player from each team in the Super Bowl. Okay, the first one was Cincinnati Bengals defensive tackle B.J. Hill. Now, if you guys Bengals fans, I do not have to tell you who B.J. Hill is because you know B.J. Hill intercepted Patrick Mahomes late in that AFC Championship game, and you know the rest of the story, right? So I did have a chance to talk with him. So my question to B.J. was how many times have that interception played in his head, realizing that it helped his team get to Super Bowl 56, and this is what he had to say. Hey, BJ, how many times have you replayed in your head that interception in the AFC Championship game, realizing that is one of the reasons why your team is in Super Bowl 56?
Played last week for sure, quite a bit, but like I said earlier, our DB stepped up so much the second half, pretty much the whole game, trying to contain their wide receivers because they had a great group of guys. But yeah, I was there, fortunately, to tip the ball up, make the play. If I wouldn't have tipped it, Trey Henderson would have picked it off. So it's all, a teamwork. We all work together, and I was just there to make the play.
Yeah, BJ Hill was at the right place at the right time. I mean, how many times have you seen where, okay, if that one player didn't get that interception, somebody was going to get it. But man, it's just so exciting to see these big guys. And believe me, he is a huge guy, okay, with the pads on, without the pads. But just incredible, incredible. And at that particular time, I think the score was 21-13. So that interception led to the Bengals being able to go down and score and get that game into position for them to win. But man, just huge. And like you said, team effort. And I like these guys. They always give you a good answer. The most difficult thing about talking with these NFL players, especially during the Super Bowl, and believe me, they get asked the same question over and over again. And I try my best to come up with something solid. But I mean, sometimes you just got to go with the relevant stuff, and knowing that, man, that play was so critical in that AFC Championship game, turned things around. Of course, you can also say that Patrick Mahomes just went flat in the second half of the AFC Championship game, and the Bengals just had the momentum. So I'm trying to create a storyline, leading up to my picks. I already got Dustin's pick, and I haven't gave my pick. And believe me, I have been on the fence all week, just 50-50. I know the Rams, and I have been high on the Rams, a star-studded team. Good Lord. I mean, we talked about the defense. We talked about Von Miller and Eric Weddle coming back, and Aaron Donald. Man, you just can just really look and see what's happening on the defensive side, and you look at the offensive side. And I'll talk about that in the second segment here as we get closer to making the picks. But but it's just not that easy for the fans. Of course, if you're a Bengals fan, no one is going to tell you different. Your team is going to win Super Bowl 56. If you are a Rams fan, you're at home, and no one is going to tell you that your team is going to lose. Your team is going to win the Super Bowl at home. So, and this is what makes the Super Bowl so exciting leading up to it. After the AFC Championship game, NFC Championship game, you're like, okay, all right, so this is Super Bowl. This is who we got. This is who we're going to be dealing with. But as each day gets closer, and especially in my line of work, just being able to talk to these guys and get their comments, it gets more and more exciting. I guarantee you. By the time game time starts, I would probably have to check my blood pressure because I will be all up in Super Bowl fever come Sunday when this thing kicks off here. But anyway, really appreciate having the opportunity to talk to BJ Hill. Great guy. And those interviews, I don't think BJ Hill realized that the mic is hot. The mic is hot there. So basically, if you're doing a Zoom meeting, I'm sitting in front of my computer and I make sure my video is right so they can see me like to see them. That's how you do Zoom meetings, right? But you can hear the public relations person gathering all the players. Okay, you go to podium 1, you go to podium 2, you go to podium 3. So, and then I don't know. I guess someone forgot to tell BJ how long he would be up there answering questions from the media, right? And all I could hear was 30 minutes. And so by the time he got in front of the camera, he was all cool, laid back, like, okay, hey, I got to make the best of this. I realized that someone's going to ask me a dumb question, and I'm going to have to give a dumb answer and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, he was a good guy, and I'm glad he responded to my questions seriously, and that's what you always want. But anyway, man, the Cincinnati Bengals. I tell you, hey, Bengals fans, I hope you're enjoying this because I'm trying to level the playing field here before I make my picks towards the end of the show. All right, so we are going to talk about the NFL honors. I hope you got a chance to see the primetime special on ABC, actually. And this is where the NFL will make the announcements of all of those awards for the 2021 NFL season. And they do this at the NFL Honors. So we are going to start with the Assistant Coach of the Year. That went to Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn of the Dallas Cowboys. Not bad. Not bad for an Assistant Coach of the Year. So when you get that award, you just got to know that, man, there's got to be an NFL head coaching position coming my way soon, and having this on my resume is going to get me there. Remember, Dan Quinn was already a head coach, but nevertheless, hey, big award there. He won it. The Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Micah Parsons of the Dallas Cowboys, and hey, that is no surprise. I think everyone saw that coming. That guy really came out there. Probably one of the best draft picks the Cowboys have made in a very long time. Parsons get the award. You can go back and look at the film. The guy is really good. He's going to have many more awards in his young career. The Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, yeah, you recognize that name because this kid is in the Super Bowl with his quarterback, and the Cincinnati Bengals, man, who knows? I tell you what, when you have rookie impacts, just like Micah Parsons with the Cowboys, rookie impacts really turned things around for the Cowboys this year. Jamar Chase, rookie impact there, really turned things around for the Cincinnati Bengals. So yes, these two awards they got right, no doubt in my mind. The Defensive Player of the Year went to T.J. Watt. I mean, come on, really? That should be a no-brainer. T.J. Watt, you ask all those quarterbacks that he sacked this year. I mean, what, it was 13, 14, and he ended up tying with someone, I think, nearly broke Michael Strahan's most sacks of the season record. But anyway, T.J. Watt gets it done. The Offensive Player of the Year went to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is in the Super Bowl. You'll see him Sunday. Fantasy football players, oh my goodness, Cooper Kupp has come into the league and just, I don't know. You can't compare him to nobody but Cooper Kupp. He is his own man and he does his own thing, and he certainly deserved the Offensive Player of the Year. And the Comeback Player of the Year. Now, this was a close one because Dak Prescott, who had that ugly injury the previous year, and then Joe Burrow, same thing. You know, both quarterbacks get kicked out of well, not kicked out, but you know, both players are hurt and they're out for the season, and so this was a tough one. But Joe Burrow is your Comeback Player of the Year, and I guess rightfully so, right? I mean, he came all the way back, right? Got his team in the Super Bowl, playing on Sunday, Super Bowl 56. So I'm okay with that one. The Coach of the Year went to Mike Vrabel of the Tennessee Titans, and you know, Mike Frable has done a hell of a job in Tennessee. I did not buy into him getting a head coaching job, and at times I really thought he made some crazy decisions. And he still continues to make some, you know, shake my head decisions there as a coach with Tennessee. But one of the big ones is that, you know, he brought in Ryan Tannehill from Miami, so he ships Marcus Mariota out. Didn't, you know, and I was a Mariota fan, so I didn't really like that. But you know, I'm not going to take anything. I was wrong about Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is a hell of a coach. Played for Bill Belichick, so we shouldn't be surprised at all, right? But hey, I agree with him being Coach of the Year. Now, what he needs to do is to you know, get that the Titans. Big disappointment though for Titans fans being the number one seed in the AFC and not, you know, and getting beat by this very team that's going to be playing on Sunday, the Cincinnati Bengals. But nevertheless, Mike Vrabel, you are the Coach of the Year. And the big award, the one that everybody always talks about, is the Most Valuable Player. That went to Aaron Rodgers of the Green Bay Packers. And I'm going to say this. I sat there and I listened to Aaron Rodgers give his speech, and this guy did not sound like a quarterback that was coming back to play with the Packers. If you could look at some of the faces of the people in the audience and some of his football players that he played with, they all had a puzzled look on their face, like he's talking like, it was nice playing with you guys. Thanks for this award, but I'm moving the hell on. And that's what I gathered from that speech. But anyway, that's just me time will tell. I don't think Rodgers and the Packers are going to go through the same thing they went through last year. I think a decision is going to be made. Packers are always going to say, we want them, we want them, we want them here. But I think Aaron Rodgers might have other things on his mind. So those are the awards for the 2021 NFL honors, and congratulations to everyone who received an award. And there's one more, of course. Definitely want to talk about this one, and this is actually the last one that they do on. It's the MVP. It's next to last, but this one right here is one of the biggest awards, and it's the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, and that went to Andrew Whitworth for the Los Angeles Rams. And man, his speech was, oh my goodness, it was heartwarming. You can see why this guy is the one of the most respected people in the NFL. All 32 teams nominate someone to get the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year, but only one can win. And Andrew Whitworth, I don't think anyone in the league will argue that he shouldn't have won. And man, his speech, I don't even know if he was looking at a teleprompter. It just seemed like he naturally knows what he wants to say and do and all of that in the community. And remember, this is stuff that's done off the field. The Man of the Year has nothing to do with what they do on the field. So congratulations to Andrew Whitworth, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. I just realized that I missed out on a couple of more NFL honors, and I want to make sure I get those to you because these are really, really cool as well. The You have sponsored awards, which is big time there at NFL. Man, they wouldn't make it without the amount of sponsors that they have, and they have a ton of them. But anyway, you have your and I talked about Cooper Kupp earlier. And the fact that he is, if you play fantasy football, this guy is just, man, he is a points generator. Well, anyway, how about this? He won the DraftKings Daily Fantasy Player of the Year. No surprise there. Cooper Kupp wins that. And you also have your Courtyard Unstoppable Performance of the Year. And that went to Joe Burrow. So that doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it shouldn't surprise you that some of these awards are going to people that are in the Super Bowl because this is what got them in the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, just unstoppable. You get sacked 9 times in a playoff game, and you just keep coming. You keep coming. Saw what he did against the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, down 21-3, and just unstoppable. So you have to understand why he won that award. But this next award, freaking believable. You may not know his name or recognize his name, but you will by the time I finish talking about him. Christian Wilkins of the Miami Dolphins, he intercepted a pass, and I guess and he won the Bud Light Celebration of the Year award. Okay, so go figure, right? For his touchdown or his touchdown or interceptions celebration. But anyway, YouTube this guy, Christian Wilkins, because me talking about it will not do you any good. You have to see what he did. He's a big guy. He did what back in the day was called the centipede dance. I've never, ever seen anyone do the dance like this guy did. He got up, he got down, he got up, he got down. Go make sure, please, before you do anything else, after you listen to the show, go and Google or YouTube. Yeah, you want to YouTube this. Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins, and you'll see why he won the Bud Light Celebration of the Year award. So I wanted to make sure I got that out there because those are the fun awards, though. But man, he certainly deserved that. So we are now officially at the bottom of the hour. All right. So when I come back, I will have my interview with Ram safety Nick Scott here on the MeanGene Super Bowl Show, KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM, Las Vegas. We are back once again. You're listening to my final MeanGene show here on KDWN 720 AM, 101.5 FM, Las Vegas. Final show until next football season, that is. We are going to end this with a bang this evening. This is my Super Bowl show. As you know, Super Bowl 56 will take place Sunday, February 13th at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. All of the hype, everything. This is just going back and forth. Make sure you get your dose. If you haven't decided on who's going to win the game, or if you don't really have a horse in this race here, just make sure you get both sides of the story. I know the Rams look like a wrecking machine there. They have all year, and they only got better when they picked up Von Miller and they picked up Odell Beckham, and they just really got strong. It all started when they made the trade to send Jared Goff to Detroit, and they get Matthew Stafford to come, and things have just really been chilling. But you also have to look at the Cincinnati Bengals story. What an amazing story there with a team that they draft Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's trying to do something that only Ben Roethlisberger has accomplished, winning a Super Bowl in his second year as a player, as a quarterback. And if you've watched this Cincinnati Bengals team, you can see, man, you're just not ready to write them off yet. And of course, I will be making my picks here a little bit later in the show, along with Dustin Pfeiffer's pick as well. Dustin is not joining us today. Dustin is feeling a little bit under the weather, and man, I tell you, I received a text from him, and he is really, really feeling bad that he could not be here to talk about the game. But we want Dustin to get well. We're going to send our well wishes to him. Make sure he gets well. But like I said, I do have his Super Bowl prediction. So. As always, the show is brought to you by Presidential Limousine by Captain. I tell you all the time, you get in Vegas. Hey, how about this? The NFL draft is going to be in Vegas in April. As a matter of fact, it's conveniently on my birthday, April 28th. Okay, mark that down. Yeah, mark my birthday down for sure. But the NFL draft is on that Thursday, and I can't think of any better time than to come to Vegas, get into a presidential limousine by Captain, ride around in style, because MeanGene will be in a limousine by Captain, riding around in style. So all you have to do is make that reservation when you get here, or make it before you get here. You can call them 702-438-5466, or you can text them 702-410-6057, and they will respond to you right away. We're also brought to you by the Westgate Las Vegas Resort Casino. And I tell you what, that place is definitely jumping. If you haven't gotten over to the the Westgate Sportsbook and place your bet on this big game, then what the hell are you waiting for? This is the biggest game of the year. And it's not so much, okay, who's going to win and the spread. It's the prop bets. It's the who's going to win the coin toss. It's the how long will the national anthem take before it's finished. There's always over-unders on, okay, is it 3 minutes, over 3 minutes, or something crazy like that. The first score of the game. Who's going to get the first touchdown? Is it going to be an odd number, even number? All of those prop bets, I highly advise you to go over to the Westgate Las Vegas Resort Casino, the sports book. Get that bet in. Those lines are going to be long. I can guarantee you that, because it's the Super Bowl. This is the one game where, man, lots of money, and I do mean lots of money, will be riding on the table. So now, I said, although this is my last show for a while here on KDWN, I highly encourage you to follow the MeanGene Show on the iHeartRadio podcast. It's still called the MeanGene Show. You can download it anytime, and you'll see my face, my bald head with the microphone and the black and white photo there. So that's my signature photo, MeanGene. And I want you to do that, okay? Now, if you don't have the iHeart app on your phone, you can also hear me on Spotify, iTunes, Odyssey, and Amazon Music as well. Wherever you get your podcast. So just type in the MeanGene Show, get it, because we got some exciting things coming up here over the next few weeks. Dustin Pfeiffer and I will be talking NBA, the upcoming NFL draft, NC2A March Madness, all that great stuff. So please continue to follow and subscribe to the MeanGene Show I have a couple of more shows to do besides this one here for KDWN. Got an iHeart show, and then I have a Podbean live show that I'll be doing with Mr. Picks because he's going to talk about the numbers. He's going to talk about and I don't know where the game set's at now. I think the Rams are favored by 4 points or whatever, but I won't get into all of that. You're going to have to listen to my show, my iHeart show. Just listen to the podcast. I'll be talking to Mr. Picks, and I think I'm supposed to do a show with my assistant Ray Lee Cadenhead. Now Ray Lee, we have to give props to her for getting the Warren Moon interview. Okay, Ray Lee. As a matter of fact, she was right there when we were talking to Warren Moon, and me and Ray Lee are going to do a show, I believe, Sunday, right before the Super Bowl, and Ray Lee had an opportunity to talk with Johnny Manziel, Jeff Bagwell, Hall of Fame baseball player. So we just got some exciting stuff coming up here. So although we won't be on in Las Vegas on KDWN, you can still listen to our shows on our podcasts on wherever you listen to your podcasts. Okay, so I want to make sure that you have that opportunity. So in the last segment, we heard from the Bengals. We talked to B.J. Hill and got his reactions to the big play he made there against the Chiefs that got them to the Super Bowl. So now it's going to be time to hear from the Rams. And I was able to speak with Rams safety Nick Scott regarding the Bengals wide receivers and how he was preparing for them.
All right, let's go to MeanGene at KDWN in Las Vegas.
Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, you made some big plays against A.J. Green and Deebo Samuels during your playoff run. How are you preparing for the Bengals receivers?
We're just keeping our same routine and process. That team is obviously has a lot of talent. But first and foremost, we're focused on, doing our job and playing our brand of football, obviously with a lot of respect for them. And so we're just going to go out there and compete to the best of our ability. And, hopefully that'll be enough.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right. There you hear it from Nick Scott, safety for the Los Angeles Rams, as he gets ready for the Cincinnati Bengals. And, he did well in the matchup against the Arizona Cardinals. A.J. Green, not a stellar receiver, not like he was back in the day when he was with the Bengals, actually. And then, of course, he went up against Deebo Samuels. Now, you will not stop Deebo Samuels, but the fact that, you have to get out there and do what you do and slow him down. But he did have great plays against Deebo Samuels. So now he's up against the Cincinnati Bengals wide receivers, Jamar Chase and stuff. So, and he's got help. He's got help. I mean, like we said, this Rams defense is just loaded at every position. So where someone might not be stepping it up, you still got to worry about so many pieces there on this Rams defense. But I just thought that would to get that perspective on what he's going to have to do going up against the receiving core, because you got T. Higgins. And you got Tyler Boyd, and you have obviously Jamar Chase. So, and this is what Joe Burrow has realized, as much as he probably is going to want to hit, and believe me, Chase is going to be there for him. And this is just going to be a match made in heaven for those two guys to be playing in the Super Bowl after playing at LSU. But, yeah, the Rams defense is going to be working. They will be putting in some work. So for anyone that thinks that, and I'm mainly talking to Eric Dickerson, that this is going to be a blowout, I just don't see it that way. And I'm getting closer and closer to my picks here. But thanks to Nick Scott for allowing me to get in there. So I actually played a little bit of how things go on those virtual interviews. They call your name, and hopefully you get lucky, and we did. So they always like when they call me MeanGene there because, that's who I am, right? I'm MeanGene. All right, so now we are going to have to really get down and break this game down, right? We're going to have to break this game down. But before I even do that, All right, before I do that, I got to give you all the details of Super Bowl 56, right? I have to get you ready for the game. The game. Super Bowl 56, and I have specific notes here that I want to talk about. So let's start with the Rams. So you got both the Rams and the Cincinnati Bengals are your number 4 seeds in their respective conferences, making this the first time that both Super Bowl teams were the number 4 or lower seed, and the first Super Bowl since the NFL started seeding postseason teams in 1975 that does not feature at least one team who was seeded number 1 or 2. So go figure. So no Chiefs, no Buccaneers, no Titans, and none of that stuff. They did not make it. The Los Angeles Rams are the second team to play a Super Bowl in their home stadium. Last year was the 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the fifth team to play a Super Bowl in their home state. Now, this has been done by the Oakland Raiders. I think that was Super Bowl, I want to say Super Bowl 37. I was at that Super Bowl, okay. That was the Buccaneers and the Raiders. The Rams, of course, Super Bowl 14, and the San Francisco 49ers, they did it, and I believe, I can't remember what Super Bowl that was. And then, well, the Super Bowl was not really in, I think it was in Palo Alto, and so it was close. It was close to the 49ers home field there. And then, of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, last year. So anyway, so that's what we have there. So now the Cincinnati Bengals became the first team to win each of their wild card, division, and championship games by 7 or less points. And the third team since 2003 to go from worst to first and make the Super Bowl. Did you know that? They're the third team to go from worst to first and not only make the playoffs, but make the Super Bowl. Philadelphia did it. The Saints did it in 2009. Now, I can tell you this. The Saints won, and so did the Philadelphia Eagles. How about that? So, man, Bengal fans, I told you so. Don't count us out. All right. So, the Cincinnati Bengals are the fourth team to ever make the Super Bowl after recording 4 or less wins the previous seasons. Okay, now imagine, we just talking about worst to first. Don't get any worse when you only win 4 games or less, right? And then here you are in the Super Bowl the next year. The 49ers did it in 2019. The Rams did it in 1999. The Rams had that horrible record, and then they went on to the Super Bowl, defeated the Titans. I was at that Super Bowl too, by the way. They beat the Titans, and then the Bengals did it the last time the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. Now they didn't win. They played against Joe Montana and the 49ers, but that the previous season they had a horrible record, and here they are doing it again. Will they have a different outcome? We shall see. All right, so there we go. There's the interesting stuff there. So, man, I tell you what, whoo-wee. You know what? This is the first postseason meeting between these two teams. So you don't really have a lot of data to look at. Now, we can go back and see the last time these two teams played. I think it was back in the last game they played, the last game in California when the Rams were in Anaheim. The Bengals beat the Rams 34-31 in overtime. That was like a long time ago, back in October 7, 1990. Okay, before some of you were probably even born, that are wearing Bengals and Rams gear now. And then we have the last time these two teams really played was in London, and that was October 27, 2019. The Rams beat the Bengals 24-10. So that's really all we got there that's relevant here. Never met in the postseason. So this is, usually you got some postseason, history between teams, but not much there in the postseason when it comes to the Rams and the Bengals. So let's talk about how they got here, right? The Bengals overcame 18-point deficit to win the AFC at Kansas City, and that basically tied the largest comeback in conference championship game history. So that was pretty interesting. And you have the Rams, who overcame a 10-point deficit to win the NFC Championship versus the San Francisco 49ers to advance to their second Super Bowl in the last 4 seasons. You remember in the past 4 seasons. They were there in 2018. They lost to the Patriots, and that was a Jared Goff team that went up against Tom Brady. So here we are, folks. We're at that moment where we have to make a Super Bowl prediction here. And I'm going to go ahead and just start with Dustin Pfeiffer's pick, because Dustin has made his pick. All right, Dustin has decided that he's going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals to win. Can you believe that? Can you believe Dustin Pfeiffer is going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals after going with the Rams the entire year? The entire year, Dustin Pfeiffer has been with the Rams, and now he's going with the Cincinnati Bengals. In Dustin's defense, he did tell me that he just felt something magical about Joe Burrow, and I totally get it. I totally understand. I see it. I mean, we talked about the comparisons to the Ben Roethlisberger and Dan Marino as being these second year quarterbacks. Now Dan Marino led a team to a Super Bowl in his second year, and Ben Roethlisberger did the same thing. But Ben Roethlisberger is the only one that has won a Super Bowl in only his second year. But there is really something about this guy. He's just not really flustered at all. You get that comeback Player of the Year award, and man, the Bengals just really made things easier for him when they went out and got Jamar Chase and Zach Taylor. They just really have a lot going on now. Dustin Pfeiffer, not only did he go with the Rams the entire year, he picked the Rams to get to the Super Bowl. He picked them. Now I don't know if he because we always fall short of saying who's going to win it. We just always at the beginning of the year we'll put two teams in the Super Bowl. Good Lord, I can't even remember who I put in the Super Bowl. So much has changed, but I think it could have been. I think I had the Buffalo Bills and the Rams, perhaps. That was my pick. But wow, so Dustin Pfeiffer is going with the Cincinnati Bengals to win. And here lately, me and Dustin have been right a lot. Now, we both picked the championship games right. We were disasters in the playoffs, especially the wild card weekend. Oh, my goodness. But here we are. Now we got to make the prediction. So Dustin Pfeiffer has officially gone on record as saying that the Cincinnati Bengals will win Super Bowl 56. Okay, my turn here. So I got to go out with a bang here on KDWN. Else you guys will come back next year, or you may not come back next year, and you say, well, MeanGene, you just got it wrong. So got to get this right. I listened to Warren Moon, and Warren Moon said what I have been thinking all along, okay? Just looking at this Rams team, you listen to some of these shows, you go out and you get this defense, they are fully loaded. They were already loaded. You got Aaron Donald, stud, Leonard Floyd, you got Von Miller. Eric Weddle says, you know what, man, this I think I want to come out of retirement and play some more. Sean McVay, good coaching, all of this stuff. And you look at the offense. So it all started with the big trade, the year with Goff for Matthew Stafford, and man, it has paid dividends. And it's scary, the thought of the Rams. I mean, they I don't know if they said, hey guys, guess what? Super Bowl's going to be in our backyard next year. Let's do this. Let's run this thing. Let's put these pieces together. And I don't know if that was they thinking. I mean, and the Buccaneers, they probably were thinking the same thing. But so you got to understand why folks are just really all in. I mean, completely all in on the Rams. But as Warren Moon said, man, I think the Rams are going to win. And then he says, but I would not be surprised. You have to kind of really, really go back and look and hear these comments. Why are people not surprised? Well, they're not surprised. They wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals won because they saw what the Bengals did with the Tennessee Titans. They saw a team that just wouldn't stop, wouldn't give up. Quarterback sacked 9 times, right? And he just keeps going. And they see the connections, the play calling there, the rookie Jamar Chase, how he comes in. There's a reason why that guy is the offensive rookie of the year. And I mean, it's just so much there with this team. And we don't really say a lot about defense with the Bengals, and we didn't see a lot until just kind of late in the season. I mean, where in the playoff run there, especially with B.J. Hill picking off the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. But you have to understand why people are so hesitant. And then the point spread there. I mean, Eric Dickerson thinks that the Rams are going to win 38-15, 38-14, something he said on the Undisputed with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Eric Dickerson might be right. He might know what the hell he's talking about. And if so, man, you're going to hear a whole lot from Eric Dickerson if this is a blowout game. But it's something we really don't want to see in the Super Bowl is a blowout game. But it has all the makings for a blowout, even though the spread is only 4 points right now. It has all the makings for a blowout. We can easily see the Rams just going in there and beating the brakes off the Bengals. But I'm tending to think like Warren Moon, and I was already thinking that way before Warren Moon said that. I am giving a lot of attention to the Cincinnati Bengals, and I was not surprised that Dustin Pfeiffer went with the Bengals because we have talked. We have, we both picked the Bengals to beat the Chiefs. Go figure, right? So, in making my Super Bowl prediction, folks, I am going to say that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win Super Bowl 56. I'm agreeing with Dustin. I know the Rams are the Rams. It's just kind of scary, the expectation of, okay, Tampa did it last year. Guess what? We're at home. This is a bigger stage. This is Los Angeles. We can do it. And I don't know. I mean, I just feel something, the magical thing there too. And I could be wrong. And I could say that, it's so easy to jump on the Rams bandwagon, but you just really have to look at things. I mean, just kind of look at things and hey, if I'm wrong here. The Rams win Super Bowl 56 and, so be it. They'll win it. But I am going to officially go on the record and say that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win Super Bowl 56. I'm going to agree with my co-host, Dustin Pfeiffer. It's just he sees what I see, and I see what he sees in this Bengals team. It's scary. Nothing. You can't say nothing to lose. Of course, you could lose the Super Bowl, but, coming in as an underdog, all of this hype, the halftime show, Snoop Dogg, Mary J. Blige, Eminem, Dr. Dre, so much LA, but do not. This thing it's something scary about this Super Bowl. It's either going to be a blowout like Eric Dickerson said, or if it's a close game, I would say that Cincinnati Bengals are going to win. All right, so there we go. That is going to wrap it up. I want to thank everyone here at KDWN, especially my boss, Mike Petrell, for allowing me to talk sports with you guys every week. I have thoroughly enjoyed it. I do plan to be back here later this summer to continue our NFL coverage, so stay tuned. In the meantime, follow me on Twitter at Sports Kings. Subscribe to the MeanGene Show podcast. You can get that on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Enjoy Super Bowl 56. It's the final Mean Gene Show for a while here on KDWN, 720 AM, 101.5 FM, Las Vegas.